Annyeonghaseyo, welcome to the land of Korean cinema. Not so long ago I reviewed Signal, a masterpiece of a series, and one of you suggested the 2021 series Chimera, or Kimaira, for me to watch. So I was like, okay. The show stars Park Hae-soo of Squid Game fame, Hee-joon of Mouse fame, Kim Soo-hyun, Joon-young, Hee-young, Heo Joon-seok, and many others. 35 years ago, a criminal named Chimera had killed at least 3 people, setting them on fire in mysterious ways. A culprit was caught but died during the investigation. In the present, 35 years later, similar killings start to happen. Park Hae-soo plays a detective who starts investigating the case, and soon he finds a possible culprit, a prestigious doctor played by Hee-joon. Honestly, just the fact that Park Hae-soo and Hee-joon stars in this would have been enough for me to watch this show. And they did not disappoint at all, and overall, I did enjoy the show. But it also has some serious flaws. So let's dive in. On paper, the show is a thriller, but it's much more of a drama, and not a bad one at that. Actually, the drama was my favorite aspect of Chimera, or more precisely, the human elements in the show. I grew to really like the main characters. I really enjoyed their interactions, how the right people eventually find each other and start working together, all that stuff. And as the case grows bigger, certain characters get involved on a highly personal level, which just adds to the drama. And it works really well. My absolute favorite part of the show was Hee-joon's character and performance. I was blown away by his acting in Mouse, and once again, he does not disappoint. Granted, his character is the most interesting to begin with. He's very likely the villain. He's very likely to have committed at least the recent killings. But he seems so human and empathetic, you really don't want him to be a villain. So since his character has the most dimensions to it, it's inevitable that Hee-joon's performance is going to be better than anyone else's, because he has much more to work with. And he's a capable enough actor to pull it off. But I was very pleasantly surprised by Park Hae-soo as well. Especially in the beginning, because despite him being a police officer, he's such a bright, dare I say, happy guy. Granted, it doesn't last for too long, but it was so refreshing to see. His character is also interesting from a writing perspective, because his traumas all come to the surface because of the case. He learns a lot of things throughout the show that will break anybody. The case starts a whole avalanche of things for him, and that's how his character gets broken down. But he never truly loses his smile, and I really like that. And the story itself is pretty interesting. Since the killings are happening 35 years apart, there's a lot to uncover, and there are twists and hurdles along the way, of course. Overall, I think this is a pretty well constructed story, with the exception of one thing which I'll talk about later. As I mentioned, it's not really a thriller, but certainly there are thriller elements in the show. Actually, there could have been some more if you ask me. But it's much more of an investigation, so if you're into that, look no further. But here lies the problem with the writing. The way information is revealed in the show is wrong. The audience knows a lot of things well before the main characters figure it out. Sometimes it takes 2 more episodes for the characters to catch up to the audience. The problem is that it takes away all the tension from the show, because we already know what the characters don't know yet. It's a matter of preference, of course. Personally, I like it a lot more when I only know about as much as the main characters. And the fact that everything is really easy to figure out also doesn't help. I pretty much figured out everything before it was revealed, with the exception of one little thing, but that doesn't matter. What I'm saying is that the show is predictable. The pacing could be tighter too. Certain scenes drag on for way too long. Some conversations are badly paced too. People are way too laid back and calm, which once again takes away the tension from the show. With a tighter pacing, the show could have lost about 2 of its episodes. And it probably would have been better. Also, there's Kim Soo-hyun's character whose presence I didn't always find justified. Don't get me wrong, I liked her a lot, and her character was very important and useful a lot of times. But there was one point in the show where it seemed like her character could be expanded immensely. And it never happens, and because of that, her motivations seem a bit vague at times, hence me questioning her presence in certain situations. Now, it might seem like I didn't actually enjoy the show, but that's not true. I did enjoy it. I just think it could have been improved upon. Like, in the first episode there were some amazing things visually. There was a great chase scene with great cinematography, with really creative camera work. There was a scene where 3 characters were brainstorming and their ideas were simultaneously shown on the screen. With some great editing, I was like, whoa, I'm in for a treat. And it never happens again. Things like that, you know? Thankfully, the story is interesting enough and the characters are likable enough. If you don't expect this show to be an intense, spine-chilling thriller, you might have a really good time with this one. Hee-joon is amazing, and the drama works really well. I'm gonna give Chimera 72%. Not the best drama I've ever seen, but it has enough values to make it a worthwhile watch. 여러분, 오늘은 여기까지만 해요. 영상 봐주셔서 감사합니다. 이 영상 좋아하시면 구독과 좋아요 잘 부탁드립니다. See you very soon. 다음 시간에 만나요, 여러분. 안녕히 계세요. Bye.